Mwah. Hi guys, welcome back to our channel. If you haven't watched us before, my name is Zoe. This is my wife, my partner in crime, my future baby mama, Bianca. We haven't made a video about this stuff in a while. To be honest, it's just been like consuming our lives trying to conceive and having a baby. So we definitely have been slacking on the videos for a while. So we thought we would just answer all of your questions. I did put a Q&A on my Instagram and so many of you guys asked a lot of really good questions. So we just thought we would touch base and do a Q&A first before we go into all of our individual videos and vlogs of trying to conceive, just to answer what the people really want to know. Basically, long story short, we started our journey back in 2021.
Yes.
When a little bit before that maybe, because we knew we wanted to have a baby.
Realistically, 2021.
Yeah.
I think we've always had a thought about it before that, but then actually putting things into action was 2021. Yes.
So we're going to tell you that whole process and start off with the question that the most people asked, which is basically what process are you using? So there was a lot of questions like, are you doing IVF? Is it IVF or IUI, etc. So IVF is in vitro fertilization, which is where they take the egg out of the female, then they put the sperm into the egg, and then they put both of those like fertilized embryo back into the woman or the person who's gonna be having the baby. So that is IVF. We're not doing IVF because we have no need to at this stage.
Well, I think we wanted to try it a little bit more of a natural way because obviously we're not a straight couple. But at the same time, like there's going to be different...
Just kidding. We're obviously gay as fuck.
Yeah, so Zoe and I when we started trying, we both said that we wanted to try it a natural way. So we were going to try a couple times. Obviously, if something isn't working, we would try a different route and kind of dive into researching.
Like any straight couple, right? Like you try a few times, and if it doesn't work, then you look into IVF. So we didn't really need to do that right away.
Right.
The other way that a lot of you guys have been asking if we tried was IUI, which IUI is... I can't even say this word. Intrauterine insemination, which is an artificial type of insemination.
And also, like, these are all ways that work for other women. This isn't the route that we've decided to take.
Yeah, I'm just explaining to you the different types because these are the things that people have asked me. So just so that you guys know what they are. So this is IUI. I cannot say this word. I'll put it on the screen. Which is basically says that the sperm has been washed and concentrated. Sperm that have been washed and concentrated are placed directly into the uterus. So I'm assuming it is basically you get donor sperm and a doctor inseminates it into you. Yeah, they probably like pick
is this the one where they have the sperm and the egg already meet and then they put it?
No, that's IVF.
Oh.
So the first one was IVF. This one is you don't take your eggs out. I think the doctor just puts the sperm inside you. But the procedure that we are trying is, I guess you would just call it as close to natural insemination or at-home insemination, because we go to our donor, he provides a sample, and then we use a kit from Mosey Baby, which I've shown you guys before, and we inseminate ourselves. So it is as close to the natural process as possible. And that's the way that we're trying. So yeah, the process that we're trying is just at-home insemination, I would call it.
Yeah, so that's the route that we've taken now to kind of jump into finding a donor.
Yes, so a lot of people asked, how did you find a donor? Did you find it on Facebook? Did you join a clinic? How much was it, etc., etc.? It was probably the second most asked question about the donor. So you can find donors through clinics. There are plenty of clinics that you can access and they can assist you. To be honest, I don't know the pricing on them. From what I've heard, it's between 5,000 and 15,000, depending on what country you're in, depending on what services they have to provide you, depending on how much of the donor you want to see. But what we chose to do was find the donor ourselves. So like a private donor. And the way that we manifested this person, like, it's the most magic I've ever seen from manifesting in my whole life.
Yeah, I remember manifesting, and I still have the journal, so I'll find it, and I'll maybe read a little snippet of it of what I've wanted. But we manifested before we left America. So when we were in America, we knew that we wanted to obviously start trying to have a baby, but we were also in the process of moving countries.
Yeah.
So that wasn't something that was on our mind. But when we were in America, we decided to kind of journal what we wanted. When we got to go down the baby route, it's just to see if we were kind of looking for the same things. And obviously that's going to evolve and change in different ways. But it is a conversation that we needed to have as partners of, okay, what kind of features, what are you looking for mentally?
Who is this person?
Yeah.
Like, who is this person that you are asking such a great, generous thing from? So yes, we wrote down features and what we wanted this person to look like, because we wanted it to look like as close to us as possible. But we also wrote down what kind of mentality we wanted this person to have. So one of the first things we agreed on is that we both wanted this person to be a gay guy, to understand our experience and really be able to, like, fully comprehend and empathize what we are going through.
A gay couple, what it's like to be a gay couple. Because you know how serious it is to be with the same sex. Like, it's not just like I don't know.
It's not easy in society.
Yeah.
So we needed someone like that. We found this person privately. And so we decided to meet with him. And once we met with him and asked him all the questions and went over everything and decided that, yes, this is the person that we wanted, we did get like the contract that clinics provide through donor and same-sex couples. So it felt like fully legitimate, and everything about it is completely legitimate. And it just felt more like us. Like, we got to have an experience with a person and a person we can converse with, which is why we chose to go that route instead of
But
through
obviously,
clinics.
Before kind of contracts were thrown out there and all that talk happened, we decided to meet up with our donor and have pretty much a meeting. We discussed things about what this journey is going to look like for both of us, and his thoughts and his beliefs, and get to know him and kind of just have a conversation. Like, it is a big thing to ask somebody, but also at the same time, I want to make sure that not just physically I'm getting a person that I'm comfortable with, but mentally as well.
Definitely.
Like, we are going to be raising a child that's partially half of his DNA. And I honestly genuinely love him as a person. Like, I wish nothing but the best for him, and I am so grateful and so thankful to him and everything that he's done for us, and the couple years that we've had him in our life, and in getting us to the point that we actually are here and we're trying. And I'm just grateful. Like, I feel like we really did find the person that we wanted, not just physically but mentally. And I think that was a big thing for me and Zoe, is just finding someone mentally that was compatible with us, and his feelings too. Like, his feelings matter as well as much as our feelings do, and having a good open conversation and being a little bit vulnerable and kind of saying, this is what you want, this is what we want, do we mesh? If we had that meeting and I didn't feel like we got a vibe of, okay, maybe he's not ready, or might be too much for him, or his mentality is not what we thought, like, we wouldn't have done it. Yeah.
But it worked perfectly.
Yeah.
We met him and the three of us just vibed right away. So that worked out perfect. And in terms of like advice for people trying, I definitely would just call clinics or watch videos like this. Like, you can literally learn all this stuff yourself. I just literally Googled stuff. I don't even know how to pronounce that word. Like, I literally just Googled all of this stuff. I asked my friends. If you know somebody who's a midwife or a nurse or anything, like, just ask people for advice so that you can learn how this whole system works.
Yeah, I mean, it's going to be different for each couple as well. Like you and your partner should probably talk and have a conversation about what you both want, and what a baby looks like to you guys as well. Like it could be different for per person in the sense of what if you wanted to do IVF? Like it's just different. Having a conversation with your partner of like, oh, let's maybe try it naturally, or how do you feel about doing this, or how you're having a trial.
Yeah, it's
Like,
a big thing.
it is
Sit down with your partner.
massive
and
thing.
flesh all that out first, and then
Flesh.
and then
So weird.
I know, and then move on to the next part. But
Yeah.
just do research and like work on it together, because it's not something you want to be working on along the way. You want to literally figure out exactly what you both want from the get-go.
I think another question is also, how did you guys decide who was going to carry
Yeah,
first?
that's the one I was going to say next. Is Bianca going to carry?
Yeah. Honestly, this was a... You can go first, actually.
So Bianca was going to carry first, and when we met the donor, that was the whole plan. I have so much footage from that time, so I will definitely eventually get to a point where I show you guys the journey, but eventually it changed. So to start off, we were tracking Bianca's ovulation, trying to figure out when we were going to do it. But like I said before, this is when there was like a million lockdowns happening, so it just kind of kept getting put off. And it just felt like something so many things in our life, like it just literally wasn't working. Like every single time we tried to plan it, it was just like something came up and we were like, oh, maybe we should wait a few months. Or something came up with the donor and he was like, oh, I'm like traveling overseas or something. We were like, okay, like this isn't really working out. And we just kind of listened to the universe and we're like, all right, let's like, maybe not do it right away. And then we went back to trying again and tracking ovulation again and just really being like, yeah, this is the time.
Well, also, I was prepping my body, so I was taking vitamins. I was just tracking my ovulation probably for 3 months and kind of seeing when which dates were my peak ovulation, so that when we were ready to try, then I kind of knew and had an idea when my ovulation was, and then we can start like then taking care of that.
Actually trying, yeah, which definitely you need to do. Like if you're planning on trying,
Yes.
even within like the next year or two, just track your ovulation. It's just something about your body you should learn.
It also wasn't just my ovulation. Like I changed on having sugars and I changed.
We focused on diet a lot.
Yeah, and not drinking was another thing that we pushed back on as well. Like
stop
I just
drinking.
wouldn't have a wine here and there. Like I stopped for a little bit I probably didn't drink maybe for like 6 months total in the 3 months of checking my ovulation, and then 3 months after when we were going to try. But I never got to try, not in a sad way. We never tried with me. We got my body and stuff ready.
So during all of this though, Bianca was always saying to me like, are you sure you don't want to try? Are you sure you don't want to go first? Because I'm 2 years older than her. So she was like, are you sure you don't want to go first? And I was always like, no, I'm okay. Like I'm seriously like fine with it. And then pretty much like literally a couple of days after my mum passed away, which was in April 2022, like you can imagine I was mentally, emotionally just fucked. And I saw this video that was of me and my mum when I was a baby, and I've never seen the video before. My auntie found this video I had never ever seen, and I watched it and I literally just went like, it felt like honestly I had woken up and was like, oh my gosh, like I actually really do want that. Like although, obviously if Bianca had a baby, it's my baby, but I don't know, just something about the video just brought back all these memories of my mum, and I was like, oh my God, like I want that feeling of giving birth to a baby. And so we very quickly just changed it, and we were like, okay, let's start tracking my ovulation and pretty much starting all over again. And I'd already stopped drinking anyway, because after my mum passed away, I just stopped everything, coffee, alcohol, any form of anything I just couldn't handle. So I really was already focusing on health, and then, started taking vitamins.
And I always told Zoe, because I didn't really care that the plans had changed. I didn't mind, but I always told Zoe it is a mental thing, so I'm not going to mentally push you to do something that you're not there yet. And I know that I'll have a baby at some point. It just didn't matter when I go. But I think mentally, when Zoe switched her mind mentally, I was like, this might be the only window that she's mentally like, okay, I want to have a baby.
Yeah. And I did also take into consideration that because I was so freaking traumatized by what had happened in my life, that it might have just been a rash decision that I made in that time, but it never went away. Like, it still hasn't gone away. It just became the new path. And we started focusing on that new path, tracking my ovulation. And then it kind of felt like the universe went, yep, this is the plan now. And then everything started falling into place. Like, we just had the perfect timing to go and meet with the donor every time. And so the couple of times that we did try, and unfortunately it did take that one time, and then we miscarried at 5 weeks, which is one of the next questions that I'll go into. But it kept refocusing me and just being like, no, like, this is what I want. We're going to make this work.
Yeah.
So yeah, on to the next question. A lot of people just asked, how was the miscarriage? How far along were you? Somebody asked if I took time off work afterwards. So it was 5 weeks that I miscarried. So I missed my period, and then I was testing positive. I got so many symptoms so fast. Like, I literally was like, this is it. I have to be pregnant because I'm getting so many symptoms so quick. And all my friends who had been pregnant were like, I feel like it's too soon for you to be feeling that. And I was like, trust me, I'm feeling it. And then, like, my boobs were getting really big, and all my friends were like,
we also got a blood test.
Yeah, we got the blood test. So I was like, I'm pregnant. And then, yeah, unfortunately miscarried at 5 weeks. I didn't take any time off work. To be honest, I wasn't like that affected by it. I really feel like that what happened to me in April, my mum passed away, like, mentally and traumatically. I feel kind of like, holy fuck, like, what else could the world throw at me now? You know what I mean? Like, that almost just, that was the worst thing ever. So maybe I was just numb to it, but it kind of just made me feel like, you know, this is unfortunately a thing that happens. Like, this is a natural process of the body, and the reason why my body stopped this from happening, we'll never really know. But maybe it was for the best. Maybe you never know why your body goes, no, this isn't going to work.
Yeah. So
I just am kind of grateful and thankful that my body went through that process, and now we're just like focusing on the positives of trying again, and, you know, hopefully it sticks. So something that I just want to touch on, which is like, it's related to a lot of these questions, but it's not really answering the question. I just kind of want to give my like opinion. I'm not a professional or anything. I just have something to say about this because a lot of people have asked stuff about like clinic process. Like, one of them is, what was your experience of the compulsory counseling? I didn't honestly know that was a thing, compulsory counseling.
What's that?
Like, it means you have to go to counseling to go along with it. I'm guessing that's what they're referring to. Like, if you go through a clinic, maybe clinics get you to talk to a counselor to make sure this is what you want to do or something like that, which is good. Like, any form of therapy is awesome. I didn't know that was the thing that you have to do. But if it's not something you want to do or feel like you have to, you are literally an adult human being, and you can deny anything. You don't have to do like, no one can make you do anything. So if you don't feel comfortable doing something that's a part of that clinic's particular process, you could always try a different clinic, I guess. I'm honestly, like I said, I'm not experienced in that. I just feel like don't feel pressured by someone else to go through a type of process when there is potentially other options available to you.
We did try calling a clinic.
Oh, yeah.
And it didn't go well, and we didn't like the experience. You have to do we had a consultation to just be met, and
that's right, yeah.
And they wanted to meet us, and just for them to do a consultation for us, I think was $100 and something. And even that, I was like, why does someone have to meet me to say, oh yeah, you guys can have a baby when I'm planning to have the baby?
Yeah, like, that was something. Yeah, I called them and I said, hey, I think we were just asking them, like, what is the process? Like, yes. A lot of you guys asked me, like, what is the process? How do you start? And like, I'm saying, hey, just Google it. Before I Googled it, I did call a clinic and I was like, hey, like, what's the process? Like, how does this work for a same-sex couple? And they were like, oh, just come in. Like, we'll do the consultation. It's $120. And I was like, oh yeah, no, I'm happy to do that if we choose to go down this path. I just was wondering how this works. Like, what is the process of going to a clinic? What are
different options? What can you provide me? And then I will choose to pay for the services. Again, this is something that Zoe and I chose to not do. There's obviously you like if that's what you're comfortable with. There's everyone's different, so this is just what we've done.
This is just our process. Yeah, we're not saying one's worse than the other or anything like that.
Yeah, but I genuinely just I'm picky. Okay, like I'm gonna be right out there. I'm picky. I want more than just one baby picture. I want adult pictures. I want history, mental health report. I want to know if your parents are healthy.
We wanted to meet our donor and know everything about him, but we didn't feel like the clinic that, at least when we called, could offer that.
No, and that's what I wanted, and I wasn't gonna stop until I got that.
So you should live your life, guys. Don't stop till you get what you want. Did you consider using a known donor? So any gay girl will know this. If you have a gay guy friend, which a lot of you probably do, as soon as you say you're wanting to have a baby, it's like every gay guy so generously, bless them, is like, you can have my sperm.
I'll help you.
You can do it. Yeah. You can have mine. And I think it is so freaking sweet. And it's so cool when you hear stories of people who have done that.
Yeah.
But no, we never ever considered having someone that we know.
And we've had a lot of people that we know offer.
A lot of offers, yeah. Which bless them.
Yes, which is amazing, and we do appreciate it. But we will. That was one of mine and Zoe's like checklist things was we don't know him.
We don't want to know them because we don't want that for us, and we don't want that for them because they may not know how it's going to affect them when we start bringing a baby around that's half their DNA. What, like, you just never know.
Yeah.
You absolutely never know how they're going to be. And I would hate to emotionally hurt somebody later down the track, you know, someone that I know.
Don't want someone getting too attached to your child that's not their parent. Like, obviously family and friends and stuff like that are fine, but if that friend was partially knowingly knowing that that's part of their DNA.
You just don't want any boundaries or lines crossed or anyone's feelings hurt. So we just
keep the people you know in your life for the people that you know them in your life for.
I mean, if you find someone who you know you feel comfortable with them being like that, we just didn't. That's totally up to you.
Yeah. Again, this is pretty much a journey of what me and Zoe did. These are just things that we're kind of answering some questions too, but this is just what we've chosen. I did not look at the camera the whole time I said that. I don't know where the fuck I was looking.
How do you get past any judgment or negativity? We haven't really had any negativity, I'll be honest. Like,
we probably
every now and then we get like a YouTube comment that's like, "Where's your husband?"
If you love Bianca, you'll let her be.
Let her be with a man. You know, just shit like that. But
yeah, if you loved me, you'd let me. You'd let me be with the man.
I love you. Go on, go be with a man if that's what you want. Oh no. So I mean, gay girls on YouTube, it's like we're never gonna not get negativity, but we haven't gotten any negativity from this, which that's amazing for us that we haven't really experienced that. But it's like, how do I get past any other form of negativity? I just like genuinely, I had to train myself to just not give a shit, and I just don't care anymore. Someone says something like that on the internet and I'm just like, the problem lies with you, sir, not with me.
Yes.
Next one, someone asked, is IVF covered by Aussie health insurance? Let's just Google that together. Is IVF covered by, we call it Medicare in Australia, which is our free, we pay through our taxes, healthcare. The majority of fertility treatment costs are covered by Medicare, and if you have private health insurance, your out-of-pocket costs may be further reduced. So just from what I've heard from some people, IVF is covered if you're like considered eligible and you're approved, which I don't know the
same-sex routes.
Yeah, I don't really know how that actually works in Australia. I'll Google it for you. So it says, yes, anyone considering IVF treatment who has out-of-pocket medical costs for testing to determine their fertility is eligible to receive the rebate, which includes same-sex couples, which is amazing. So if you decide to go down that route and you're in Australia, part of it, if not all of it, will be covered. So that's pretty good.
Yeah, that is actually.
Next one, what is the process to get your body ready? So this is just what I've learned and what I would definitely recommend.
And what you've been doing.
And what I've been doing, and also what a naturopath confirmed with me that I should be doing. Take prenatals or preconceptions at least 3 months before you try. Like, it's not the worst thing in the world if you don't, but it is better to build up your body's resources of the vitamins that you need at least 3 months before.
Yeah.
So folic acid.
Yeah.
And then just obviously all your vitamin C, A, vitamin B, vitamin E, zinc, iodine, all that stuff. So build that up at least 3 months before. So I've been taking preconception or prenatals for so long now.
Yes.
I also take omega-3. I also take iron supplements. I take magnesium at nighttime. And I've also been recommended to, like, you know, once you get pregnant and you start showing, there's some other products that I've been recommended to, which are just like oils to help your skin and stuff like that. But once we're on that journey, I will share that with you guys. But I just would recommend probably vitamins. Focus on your health, maybe go see a naturopath or a doctor, whichever path is for you, and find out what's going to be best for you.
Yeah, like we try to cut out, like because we're vegan, we try to be as healthy and natural as possible. So we, like I said before, we cut out a little bit of coffee. We didn't go crazy and cut it out completely. We just limited a little bit less. And then same thing with alcohol. We just limited
Limited caffeine.
Yeah, we limited caffeine and candy or sweets or whatever you say.
That was hard for you.
Yeah, that was really hard for me. But I did do it. I tried to kind of just get as natural as possible. Also, we had another big recommendation after we had a miscarriage was to the next time that we do try to do acupuncture beforehand.
Oh, that's right.
That was a really big one.
A lot of people said that. I didn't do it, I'll be honest. I did not go and do acupuncture. I went and got a massage.
It's not that we chose not to. The way that we try is just very continuously, which is kind of another question maybe we can dive into. How often did we try and how did just how often did we try?
That's so cute.
I like you.
We've tried 4 times, and the first 2 times were pretty consecutive. It was like, what was it, May and then June?
No. The first time that we tried was in May. We probably shouldn't have tried in May. Zoe,
I was just emotionally not ready.
Yeah. We partially tried and we also partially went away for a week. And when we were trying as well, like when we first tried, we tried in May. So we tried a month after Zoe's mom passed away. So mentally, Zoe wasn't there, but also we probably shouldn't have tried. But at the same time, we did anyways. We tried. But we weren't tracking ovulation yet.
Good
we
enough,
were just trying to get Zoe to start taking her vitamins and prepare her body, but we weren't tracking ovulation yet. So
I had been tracking, but then
no, not yet.
Wasn't I tracking before that?
You never did the first time.
I did.
No, you didn't. The second time you did. First time you never did.
Yeah, that's why we went on those dates. Because those 5 dates, that's when I thought I'd be ovulating. We just didn't track extensively enough.
Keyword was you thought you were going to ovulate.
So, 4 times. So, first time was May, and then the second time was when it worked, and then I miscarried after then. Yeah. And then, tried a third time and tried a 4th time. So, it 4 times sounds like, it could sound like a lot to some people, might not sound like a lot. To me, I hear some people say to me like, oh, I tried for like 6 months. But then I hear that as like, okay, so you've tried 6 times, which still is a lot of times, but it feels like a long time because it's over 6 months. So that feels long, but like, don't get discouraged. Don't give up or think after 6 times, oh, something's wrong with my body. Just alter something. Yeah. Like, go review your diet. Go speak to a doctor. Go speak to a naturopath. Find out what potentially what could be happening in your body that's making it not stick or not work or whatever it may be. Okay, last question, which a lot of other stuff that we got were like questions related to pretty much stuff that we've covered, or people just saying like, you know, all the best and stuff like that, which you guys are so sweet. Thank you so much. We've had a lot of positivity, I can say.
Yeah.
Last question I'm going to go is, are either of you planning on staying home after the baby arrives? Yes, 100%. So in Australia now, mothers get 6 months. 6 months maternity leave paid.
It should have been that.
So it is.
Always.
Yeah, it should definitely already be that.
They just changed that. That is a new thing.
Just changed.
It used to be how long?
I think 3 months. I think 3 months paid leave.
Nothing.
So now it's 6 months. So yes, I will take 6 months leave from my job because I do have a full-time job. I would take 6 months leave, if not more.
Yeah.
But it's 6 months paid, and then the paternity, parent, father, other parent, whatever you want to call it, is 6 weeks.
Yeah, I have 6 weeks.
So she'll get 6 weeks paid. You can add an additional 2 weeks on if you need to through a different kind of government program. But you can also extend unpaid leave and they can't take your job away from you. So if I decided, hey, I want to take 6 months paid leave and then another 6 months unpaid, they can't say, oh no, too bad, you've done your 6 months. Like your job has to hold your position if you are, I believe, part-time or full-time in Australia. So I think that is actually pretty amazing. So yes, we'll both be staying home. Ideally, ideal world, let's just put this out here. We both eventually are already working from home,
Yes.
or this works out, you know, YouTube just gets so much better for us and we do both just stay home with the baby all the time.
I love that.
That is the goal.
Yeah.
That is the goal. So yeah, I hope that answered all your questions. Just to recap, we're doing at-home insemination. We found a donor ourselves.
Privately.
We are doing this all on our own research, everything. Obviously, I do see a naturopath and stuff like that, so you can get help from outside places.
Ask friends that have gotten pregnant as well. I mean,
Yeah.
some people just accidentally get pregnant and that's just pure luck and good on them. But sometimes there are some people around you that had to put in some work. So maybe ask them what work they had to put in to get that. It doesn't hurt asking questions before you start doing stuff and researching and doing all that stuff as well, because it's a process. This is a
Seek to
massive-
understand,
yeah,
baby. Seek to understand.
It's a massive, massive process.
Huge journey.
Yeah.
And that is the
Huge.
journey that we're on. So thank you guys so much for watching. And if you want to follow along with our journey, please hit subscribe on our YouTube channel, Instagrams, TikTok down below.
If you guys have any more questions, feel free to reach out in
Yeah.
our DMs on Instagram. And we'll get back to you as best as we can.
Yeah. Thank you guys.
See ya.